Hello, welcome back. This is Frederick from Tektronix. I hope you had a great Christmas vacation, and I wish you the best 2017. Today we're going to focus a little bit about Vlan Measurement, and there's a package available for you to test for free for 30 days. Just enable it through SignalVu-pc. I'm using an RSA 507A and a very simple antenna, and I'm in my office, and we're going to focus on two things. First, look at the EVM, your signal quality or pre-compliance, and the other one we're going to check a little bit is interference. So people do have problems with WLAN, and this is a great tool to use. So I'm using in the background a little program called ping tracer, so I'm going to ping during the demo my host, which is a wireless router. So let's start. So first we go to view, Navigator view. This one is the time domain or zero span. I also view the channel navigator toolbar down here, and I put it to this one, the N, and channel, I think this is channel 100. Then I put down the ref level, -20. And I go for DPX just to see if I have an activity. So when I start, I can see some activities down here, which is never visible over here. So when I start my ping tracer, I click start now, you can see there's some activity changes, and I even need to reduce, yeah, like this, so you can see the ADC overflow. Okay. Now I need to be triggered. I'm going to be triggered. I'm going to go down until I have something. I have it now, at least something, and I put it like maybe 200 microseconds. And here's my burst, and then I'm just going to do like this. You can tweak. This is the problem with I'm doing off the air measurement to have a more stable signal. Do it. And one question I get is the blue and the red trace. So this is the blue one. Here is my analysis window, and the red trace is the spectrum. And I can move this to make doing spectrums of different parts. You can see the constellation in the beginning is different from the end, for example, for some more data. And you can look at different bursts, for example. So it's the same way if you want to do some analysis of things on the side. So most people keep these linked, so there's just one. But I tend to keep it separated. So I can look at it. Okay, here we are. I can close the DPX now, hopefully, and we can start doing some measurements. So I go into this one, and I select VLAN, and here we go for constellation in the beginning. We will add, and I also use power versus time. The reason why we're using this power versus time is to see if actually we're capturing the burst. So this is a good to know. This is where we measured the power of the complete burst, and you can see this is the red, or some kind of color coding over here. This is the burst, and the burst from standard setup is 1. We don't need the spectrum here. The second thing you can see is auto demodulating, looking at the different formats we have. You can see sometimes it's a packet information, sometimes it's just idle, but this is how simple it is. If we go into the menu here, as I said, we have the different standards. It's a G standard, channel 20 megahertz, and there's different selections here. Guard interval, analysis, this is burst 1. If I go for burst 2, there's no burst 2 here. So, but if I have longer time, let's go for 2 milliseconds. I can then select different burst. I can go for burst, and then should actually see that the burst is over here. So it's depending on you have multiple bursts or single burst, you can just move around this 1 and 2. You can see the constellation diagram is immediately changing. There's a preamble auto detect, and you play around with this. I will do a more in-depth video about this, but this was mostly around the fact that how do you use it. So I didn't do anything, I just used the standard one. So we go back to the first one. You can see now it changed again, and the thing that is I find very useful here, so we can reduce this again a little bit like this, is to monitoring here at the same time. I'm monitoring the ping tracer to see any elusive events. And unfortunately I don't have any right now because my band is pretty clean. The other thing I recommend people to do is go for the general SignalVu and add a spectrogram to this one. This is a good feature for you to look at this individual burst, but let's first set it up correctly. The amplitude needs to go down, you know, so we can have a little bit better viewing. Well, scrolling as fast as I can, something like this maybe, and the max could go up until we see something that is starting to be a little bit red, like this. And here you can either go up in time, so you can have a longer time frame. Of course I've stopped triggering, but now I think I get something back at least. Oh, why am I not triggering? Trigger menu. Oh, now we're back. Maybe there was something happening over here on the antenna. Okay, so you can see you can go for longer time, and then you can see the other activities in the out of band here. But you can also look at the individual pulses. Just go shorter and shorter and shorter and shorter, and here's the shortest. And you can also see here that we need some tweaking of the max and min. So we put this down here. So in the beginning you can see that there's this is what the spectrum looks in the beginning. 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. Cannot count that well. And if you go to spectrum here in the beginning, and if you try to narrow it down to just to do an FFT of this one portion over here, and we need to add that window again, you can kind of see these kind of bursts. So let's go up beginning, and this is the beginning. You can see this is the same thing. So it's a good tool for you to look at, you know, very, very in detail what's going on with every single pulse, or like an overview, like we do here. So I'm not sure what really happened with the trigger. We can move it up a little bit again. And from time to time you will see this. And if you now stop it, it will just, you know, you can zoom into this. But this is a good way to determine, because at the same time you look at the decoded data from the constellation, we have the power versus time, and you see from time to time it's idle, then there's some data, so it's not the perfect setup. And you can see the schemes are changing here as well. The second thing, and the last thing probably for this little simple video, is the Vlan Summary. So Vlan Summary will, I close this one, I close this one. The Vlan Summary will give you you know, an overall summary of what's going on. So the standard is G, bandwidth 20 out, and we can clear this one if we want to. And there's a pass, burst power, peak to average, IQ, RMS plots and data, subcarrier average, burst, and the EVM numbers in dB. And the data modulation goes from 64 QAM, guarded 11.4 to something else. I hope you enjoy this short video of, you know, how you can start, you know, elaborating this a little bit. But I think this is essential. You just make sure that you have something that you can control over time. And as you see in the beginning over here, there was a few minutes ago some errors here on this one, and it's mainly due to I'm taking all the power from my PC at this point. Hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.